Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So that was just on a lighter mode. So this is my first time doing this, so pardon me if there's any mistake or if there are some background noise or something. It's my first time doing this and it's definitely going to get better from here. So this is just like an explainer video rather than a tutorial on how to create this beautiful dashboard interaction. This. So I'm going to explain how I achieve this just on Figma. So I'll just bring up the video to explain everything that is going on right on this interaction here. So first is the over effect here on these cards, and second thing will be how the element moves. Some moves to the right, some moves to the left. And also if you check the top nav here, it's also being animated. Also the side nav here also coming in. So if you check this element, this card right here, they don't come in at the same time. So the blue first, followed by the green, the red, and the two yellow. So as well as all the elements, so they don't come in at the same time, they come in one after the other. So also if you check, so if you look at this element, all these details inside those cards too, they don't come in at the same time, they don't come in at the same time as the card's background as well. So check the graph, how it's just being plotted, as well as this pie chart right here. And also we need to pay attention to this here. When it comes in full, then later just resize to its normal position. So there's a lot of things going on right here. So when you hover on this, you get the number of percentage that is, and also when you hover on any part of those graph, you get the figure. So in this video I'm going to explain how I've achieved all of this. So it's mainly just series of what's it called, component sets, after delays, and smart animation. So let's jump right into it. So I'll just close this and go back to my file. So like I said, this is going to be like an explainer video. So I've created my my component, so I'm going to explain how all this works. I'm going to recreate some, I'm going to use some that I've already created. So so first I would like to explain how smart animation work. So some things you need to pay attention to. So I'll grab my frame to say this, then I'll just, this is just to explain how let me say how to use smart animation. So let me have something like this, sign up. Let me just say register. Let me see this one. So let me blow this up to say 18. So just follow along. I just want to create something to explain how smart animation works and what you should pay attention to. So maybe I'd love to make this 16. Let me drag this to the middle. I'm sorry. Let me just drag this to the middle. Well, somewhere around here. So I'll rename this guy to say gray bar, and then I will duplicate this guy and say purple bar. So I'm going to give this purple guy a purple kind of color. So since this one is step 1 of 2, I'm just going to divide this one by 2. Maybe give this one a lighter shade. So I'll duplicate this frame right here and say this one is, let me just multiply this by 2. So this will be step 2 of 2. So now this is what I want to do. So I want to smart animate this guy to this layer. So I'll just go to prototype from here to here, and let me see. Okay, let me use when you click on this register to this guy here. So I want to use smart animate, then let's say 300. Let me use 400. That's fine. So let me do this one flow 9. Let me click this guy. So when I click on register, you see how it smart animates to this next frame. Let me increase the animation time. Let's say 800. So I'll go back again. So when I click on register, you see how it flows into the second frame seamlessly. So this is what I want to point out here. So, and what I want to point out is the naming when you are using smart animate. So our interaction here is smart animate, so we expect it to smart animate just like it does, just like we see. So but here, if we have this purple bar at this frame and this purple bar, and you come to this part, if this purple bar is not renamed, if this name here is not purple bar, it won't work. So what I will do is from this second frame, I'll just rename it to just purple. And let's see, let's go back to animation, and you see how it just moved to the other frame without giving us that animation vibe. So I'll come back to this guy again and add the bar. So let's go back to animation, let's restart this. You see how it works. So just wanted to point out that when you are doing smart animation, sometimes it will not smart animate because your naming is not right. So I just needed to point out that so we all have a glimpse of how, or a background of how that works. So now these are original design. This is what we are trying to add those interaction to. So first I will grab my frame tool, then I'll select this frame right here. Here it is. So I need to create these guys first. So I'll just probably copy from here, then I paste here. My corner radius is 32. So we are left with this guy. I'll just copy these two guys as well, these ones here, paste them there. So now the interaction here is when you hover over this thing, I want it to be bigger than this, and I want these icons to be straight, so to come in like they are all tilted right now. So I'll do for say this loan, then I can use the previous one that I've done already. These ones are done already. So I'll copy this guy. Let me paste this guy here. So the size of this guy is 200. This is just a group. I'll convert it into a frame selection. So I'll rename this frame to loan card one. So I want it to when you hover over this guy to be bigger and let this one be straight. So I'll duplicate this guy here and I will increase the size to, let's say, 224. So I'll just hit K on my keyboard to give me this scale. Then I'll type in the new value that I want to for right here, and I'll go to this. I'll change this one to 0. Oh, sorry, this to 0, and I want this guy to be like bold instead of semi-bold. So right here, so we are good. So so what I will do now is I will combine these two guys into a component set. So I'll just rename this component one to loan card new. Yeah, so now I want to add the interaction to this guy. So I'll go to my prototype, then I'll drag this from here to this guy. So I'll change from on click to while hovering, and I want it to smart animate, and I'll say, let's say 300 milliseconds just to be sure. Let me see what interaction I added to the previous one. So yeah, 300. Okay, that works. So now we have our loan card name. So what I will do is, so two ways if I want to add this guy to this my card. So I can rather copy this guy and paste it inside. I'll go to my asset panel, look for loan card new. I have quite a lot. I have this my loan card new, then I'll drag it here. All right, just like that. So let me give this guy, so when I play this guy, so when I hover over it, it works, but I run into a problem here. I don't want it to expand to the right bottom the way it is. I want it to be all around. I want it to extend from the center outward, not just one side. So you might also run into this problem, so I'll just explain a quick fix to that. So instead of dropping this guy right here into this frame, what I would do is I'll move this guy out and get a frame. See, so I want the frame to be the size of this guy when you hover over it. So this 2 to 4. So I'll do a frame of 2 to 4. So let me see, frame for load. So I'll make this size 2 to 4. All right, so and I'll drag this guy inside. That thing to do here, you click on your layer, this frame for loan, then you add auto layout. So when you add your auto layout, you place it at this align center. You can now drag your frame back into your design, and so the last thing is you align the constraint with the center. So when you go back to your prototype, you see it gives us what we want. So that's the fix to that. I will just let me see something. So to know exactly, so I'll just bring in these other ones that I have here. The ones I have here, I'm going to paste them here, and I'm going to move this one to join. All right, to our prototype, it all works. So cool. So to the next step, which is to make this side move to the right and these guys move to the left. in our next frame, which is this frame right here. So what I will do again is I'll grab my frame tool and I'll go to my pick desktop right here. My corner radius is 32, just like that. And so now this is how smart animation, like I said. So if you want to do smart animation and you want this to kind of animate into whatever you have here, you have to have all the elements you have on this first frame. So let me call this one select dashboard. Select dashboard. Then I'll call this one the overview. So I'll have to have all the elements I have here right inside this overview frame for it to smart animate. And also don't forget, the name has to be the same. So now what we'll do is we need to copy all of these guys and put them right into this frame. Sorry, copy them here. So but we don't want them at this position in this current frame, so we need to, you know, change them into the position we want when we get to this frame. So I think I'm saying so too much, pardon me. This is what we're going to do. I want this guy, this dark blue background to be the same background I will use for this my sidebar. So that means they have to be the same name, obviously. So now at this position, at this overview position, I don't want these guys, these ones, to be here. I want them, they are obviously they are not going to be on this page, they are going to be outside somewhere around here when what's it called, when I'm moving to this part, and I want this one to move here, so they split on both sides. This is what I'll do. I'll probably group these guys together. Okay, don't let me group it. So if I'm grouping it here and I'm not grouping it here, it will not work, because obviously they are not going to take the same name that way. So if you are grouping it here, be sure that you group them here too. And if it's group 45 here, it has to be group 45 here. So since they are not grouped here, don't let me group it here. So I'll just sort of slide shift this one to the left, just like that. But now we are not seeing what we are doing. So this clip content, I'll uncheck it so that I can see. Sorry. So I'll click on this and, you know, uncheck the clip content so I can see what's going on out here. So, and I don't want them to move like just move. I want them to move in a sequential manner. So I'll just probably select these two, shift to this side a bit, select these two guys to this side, pick these two guys to this side, probably just move this dashboard a bit to this side. So also we don't need this mask group, this one. I'll just delete this one. So now I don't really need this guy because I have another logo on that homepage, so I don't need this logo. I can delete it. I can let it maybe say slide to this part a bit, then maybe reduce the opacity to 0, so that works for me. And let me just pick these guys here and paste. Let me just paste this here. So at this frame, I want this my blue background to be here. Let me check the dimension. This dimension. Wait. All right. So this was going to happen. So let's prototype this and see what we have. So on clicking this guy, so it's supposed to be, so what we are clicking basically is what's it called, the hover one, not this one. So what I will do is go to this one, change it to the expanded one, and just add interaction to this guy, and I can now change it back to the first one. So just like that, let's come to our animation and see. So it works. So see, this one's move to the left and this one here, but I don't like the interaction. It's too basic. It just goes. I want to add a bit of drama to it basically. So I'll go back to this guy, prototype, select this guy. So just to be sure, I will check what I did with this guy and check the interaction. So on click and all of that. So we have 800. All right, back here. So on clicking this guy, on click, that's fine, smart animate, and I want this one to be 800. So click this guy, so that's fine. I like that, but it's still too basic to me. So I want to add a bit of drama. So instead of using all these preset motions, I will use my custom animation, and I'll drag this to this point. Now probably drag this to this point. So what this does is, at this point it's going to be slow, then becomes fast. So it's going to give it that slow fast effect. So let's see what we have here. You see, cool, smooth. We like that. I like that. So now, I don't necessarily need these guys to show. So let me just play that again. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need this guy to show. So they are showing is because I didn't clip content. Once I clip content, they are not going to show. So we've achieved the first phase of the interaction. So the next phase will be to bring this guy, this our sidebar, probably delete this and just copy the one I have here and paste it here. Cool. So now if we go back, play these guys, this new one that I just brought in, they are not animating. So, and I want them to animate here. So now if I want this guy to animate or to flow in, I will have to add it first to this part right here, to this first frame. They have to be here. Like I said, you can't animate anything you want to animate, has to be on both frame. If they are not, it won't work. So I will need to copy this guy and put it in this frame. But on this frame, on this first frame, they will not be showing. So I will just shift them to the side like that. So for me to see what I'm doing, I'll uncheck this clip content. Now we have these guys outside. So if I come back to my animation, I say let's restart this. Whoa, I like that. So it works. So now the way all of them comes in at the same time, I don't like it either. So I'll just change their position here. So maybe this one is here. I'll move this manage to say somewhere around here. I'll move this guy say somewhere around here. I'll move this one somewhere around here. Oh, okay, let me control Z. I did a mistake somewhere. So it's not supposed to be on interaction, it's supposed to be like the overview. Let me see. Okay, I'll have to copy this one, sorry about that. So let me just delete this one and bring this one instead. All right, so I'll copy this one, paste it here, then no, just shift it to the other side. So click on this, show what I'm doing. This side. So yeah, so this logo stays here, and I'll just move this one to probably this side. This overview here, I want this one to be here. Record, you come here, transaction here, user here, see here. It's going to be a long one. So let's say team, you here, analytics, you here, preference here, settings here, security here. Okay, let me shift this board to this part a bit. Switchboard here and log out here. Where I'm moving this from here to the farther left, I'm holding my shift, so everything's going to be on the straight line. So I'll come back here, click my content, come here, clip my content. So on this select dashboard, my sidebar, that's somewhere around here, and this part they are all set here, so they are going to just smart animate in when it's coming. So when I make them fixed, so they are fixed. So if I go to my so if you check my fixed bar, you see side nav, that's the name of the group. And I come to my dashboard too, you will see my side nav here. So same name. If the names are not the same, it's not going to work. Side nav. So let's play what we have. See, cool, that works. We like that. So one last thing, but I will leave that to you to, you know, try and see what you can do. Is this top nav here. So it has its own animation too when it's here, so it's somewhere around here. This is it, and the opacity is like 0. Let me change it to 100. So you see where this lone dashboard is somewhere around here, this overview is here, this is our search, this thing. So a lot of things depending, this is the name, this admin. So but at the end of the day, everything is going to like be nice when it comes here. So you can do whatever you want to do, you can try something, you know, but I'll just copy this guy here and just paste it into my work. So the same thing, just change the opacity, change the what's it called, change positions and all of that, and it was going to be just fine. So I'll copy this one here. All right, so let me check my interaction. So cool, that part has been done. Now what we need to do now is to get all these cards ready. So all these cards ready. So now what we need to do, let me just copy. I will do for these two, then the same thing applies to the remaining one, but I will just use these two as an example. Copy this, guys, just probably paste it here. Let me move them outside first. This is a component I will just break. I'll just detach those components, detach them. So this is what we are going to do here. We are going to create two 3 component sets from this card. So we are going to create one for the background alone. We are going to create one for this content. We are going to create one for this numbers, since we want those numbers to be changing. So we have component for this, and for this, since they are not all going to enter or display or comes in at the same time. So I want to create different components for them. So when we create one, then we can edit it and use it for this guy. So the first one I will create will be these numbers, maybe this number here. So how do I do that? I will just explain what I've done with the numbers. I don't want to go over it, it's kind of stressful. So I use, let me go back to the component. So these are the numbers. I use 30 numbers that are constantly changing, like changing from, so it starts from 0, move to 3,000 till it gets to this 10,136,200. So it's quite a lot of work. I know there is another alternative you could use, which is a sliding number, when it slides from 0 to 1 to, but I don't want the sliding effect. I want something that changes. So this is a list of 30 numbers. How do I generate this number? I just use ChatGPT and I just go there, generate a list of 30 numbers at equal interval, with the first number being 0 and the last number being 10,126. It does the magic, generate these numbers. I just copy and paste and put it there. So how did I do this? So all these are frame. This 00 is a frame, then inside the frame I have the text, which is 00. So this is also a frame. Inside that frame we have 340. So the same goes to the rest, 28. They are all frames. Then inside that frame we have the numbers. So what we are going to do so I created them separately initially. So let me see if I can just, so okay, now let me, so I created them separately the way I created, just create different frames, put the numbers inside, then select everything together and make them a component set. After making them a component set, then you go to your prototype, then you combine them together. So from 0 to 1 you use after delay 1 millisecond. So 1 millisecond is just like 0 seconds. It's not stopping. Immediately it gets to 0, it's moving to the next number. So, and we are not going to use smart animate here, we're going to use instant. So the same thing for this next frame. After delay 1 milliseconds, we are not stopping. When it gets to this one, move to this one, instant. So the same for everything is 1 milliseconds till you get to the last one. So you are not adding any animation to this last one because this is the final number. When it gets here, we want it to stop, so it stops here. So that's how I create this changing number. So this one is for the disbursed loan, this one is for the closed loan, this one is for the overdue loans, and for the rest of them like that. So what I did after creating the first one, I just duplicated it, change the name, change the frame name, and change the figures inside. So that's what I did basically, so you don't have to go through the stress of doing the prototyping all over again. So yeah, so to show you how that works, just going to copy this one, sort of paste it inside our design to show you how it's working. This guy here. So let me come here. So when I play, you see how it works. So it doesn't stop, it just change to the next number, change to the next number till you get to the final number. Back here. Yeah, so now the next thing we want to create is the frame or the component for these two guys, or this what do I call them now, this element and the background. So let's create for the background first. I'll probably just duplicate this guy. I'll call it let me call it this background. All right, so I don't need all these guys here for now. I just want just the background. Just duplicate and keep this one here. Delete all these ones. So now currently the background is the frame background, so I don't need the frame background. Basically what I need is just a shape that has that color. So we are going to be using a shape. So let me get the size correctly. 200 169. So 200 169, and the corner radius is 16, so I'll change this to 16. Then I will use my eyedropper tool to just pick the color. So for this frame I will not be using this background, and I'll change the corner radius of this one to 0. So I'm just going to drag this guy inside this guy, just like that. So now I want to create like the component set for this background. I'll make a duplicate of this one. So this is going to be the first one, then it moves to this second one. So at this point I want this shape, this background shape, to be like under, so it's not going to show. Let me tweak this thing. I want it to be, let me see, so I want it to be somewhere around here. Yeah, just outside. Yeah, clip. So it's going to be here, then moves to this part, and the naming has to be correct. So here we have rectangle 1183. Here it's also rectangle 112, so it works for me. So I might, let me change this one to, see, okay, let me just leave it. Let me change it to 1. Let me change this one to 2. You can use any name, it's allowed. So select these two, create a component set, then add my interaction. So from here to here I'm using after delay. So I'll come here, select after delay, and I'll use 1 milliseconds, like it's not stopping. Immediately you get here, moves here. So now I need to determine what interaction. Yes, I'm using smart animate, but I don't want to use custom what's it called, custom motion. I'll probably use something like, say, slow. But just to be sure, let me go back to the original design and see what I used. So I used slow 300 here. Okay, slow 300. Where are you? Slow, then 300. So I'll rename this to blue BG. Blue BG. Yeah. So I have to put it somewhere around here. I don't really know where. Let me on my grid. Let me turn on my grid. If there's no grid, that's strange. There should be. So I'll just copy this grid here to this one. So how I'll do that is I'll just click. So I'm selecting this layer that has grid. This grid layer, I'll just click on this side to have this, all this row highlighted. Then I'll hit Command C, come here, Command V. So it's just, that's how you copy like anything, layer style, gradient, color. Just tap on this edge, Ctrl C, come here, Ctrl V, then that's done. So now I need to know exactly where to paste my card background I just did. I know it's going to be somewhere around here, so I just copy this and paste it here, and it's going to be somewhere here. Yeah, so yeah, I don't need this one, I can delete this one. So my component is here. If you remember, the first time nothing is showing, then before this one comes in, so that's why we are not seeing anything on this screen, but something is there. So if we go back to our this thing and we play, you see it works. Yeah, just like that. All right, so I think I'm having issue with the color. Let me just get the right color code. So I have this color and the opacity is was 72. Yeah, so 72. I'll do the same thing for this one. All right, so the next thing we are creating is all these guys. So I'll bring this one down, and so after completion, this is how it's going to look like. But remember, we are not using this figure, we are using this our interaction that we've created with this number to replace this one. So I'm going to drag that one in, delete this one, just bring this one here, and so I don't need the background, probably just turn that off. So this is how it's going to look like when everything is done. So this number is not going to be 00. Once this shows up, then the number starts changing automatically. So the number we are using here is the component. So I'll give this one maybe 2, then I'll drag it here and call this 1. So at this point, these guys will not be here, they'll be somewhere. I'll move them, sorry, so these guys, so all these guys I will just move them down. So to see what I'm doing, I'll uncheck, sorry, I'll click on this, now uncheck the content to see. So I don't want them to move in just straight and just move into this, so I will change how they move in. So I'll drop this one down a bit, then move this one down a bit, move this one down a bit, and yeah, move this one down a bit. Yeah, so now I don't want this number to be changing. I just, at this point, I just need it to be 000, then it moves to this guy. Is this one I need to be changed? So I don't need this one to be changed. So what I will do for this one is just detach the instance to just be 000, but the naming has to be correct. It has to be this this loan value, this one to this loan value, so they are all the same. So that works for me. I'll click on this, I'll click my content here and group the two together, create a component set, then use this guy. So now I want to do my interaction from here to here. Just to be sure, let me check the interaction I used to join the two of them together. So we have it is out 600 milliseconds. So I'll go back to my design. I know this video is getting too long, but I just have to make it as detailed as possible, so I probably might break it into 2 videos. Yeah, I'll change this one to, let's say, this value. Okay, this content, so my interaction, so I'll say from here move to here. I'll use after delay, but I need to check the value. Sorry, I'm always going back to this. So this guy is a lot of okay, after delay 100 milliseconds. Yeah, so now a quick reminder, for this one we said after delay 0 seconds is 1 millisecond. That's like just like 0 milliseconds, so it's not stopping at all. But we don't want this background and this one to come in at the same time. So if this one is 0, we want this one to delay for about 100 milliseconds before they come in, so they don't come in at the same time. So I'm going to use after delay, and I'm going to change this one to 100 milliseconds. So then I'll use smart animate. I will not use slow for this one. I'll use this is out back this. So I will show you how what the effects look like. 600. So we are done. So we've brought in our background. Then let's bring in our content. Ctrl C, and I'll paste it here. This is it here. So let me just use the second one. So they have to be like on the same level with this guy, so you have to do that correctly. So yeah, it down a bit. Let me just, yeah, okay, cool. They're all on the same this thing. I'll change this one to back to that one. So this is what we have. Then let's go back to animation and see how you see that works. So the interaction I added to this one, the what's it called now, this guy, this is out and back, is it's okay. Let me just show you from the video. Let me close this guy. So this is what it does. Download, where's this guy? So this is what it does. So once the content comes in, it goes up higher than its original position where it should be, then comes back. So it goes up, back. So that's the is out, back stuff. So I guess you understand that. So that's what it does. Then let me play that again. So once it's back, this one starts reading. So the same thing goes for all these other cards. So you create the background, you add you create the what's it called, component for your background, create the component for your content. Don't forget to use the animated the component for the numbers, and you do the same thing for each of them. So I'll just probably use the one that I've created before, and to save time, bring them here and just paste. So I've added the one for red, for green, red, the first yellow, the second yellow. But one thing I need to point out, let me go back to this thing. So the other one is green. So if we check the delay for the background for the green, you see 100. So the one for blue is 1 millisecond. So immediately the page, immediately we animate to that overview page, this one starts. Yeah, this one comes in. Then the background for green waits for 100 milliseconds before it comes in. The one for red waits for 200 milliseconds before it comes in. The one for the first yellow waits 300 milliseconds before it comes in, and the last yellow waits 400 milliseconds. So like there's a difference, there's an interval of 100 milliseconds between all of them, so they don't come in at the same time. The same thing for all this. For the content, this one waits 100 milliseconds to come in, so this one is coming in the same time this green background is coming in, because they are both waiting 100 milliseconds. So for this card, for this one is waiting 199 milliseconds. You can approximate it to 200. So for this one this is the content for the green card. So this is the content for the red card, and this one is waiting 299 milliseconds. This is just about like approximately 300. And the one for the first yellow, this one is waiting 499 milliseconds, and the one for the last yellow card, this one is waiting for 599 milliseconds before coming in, but the interactions are all the same. It's smart animate, is ease out and back, and is 600 milliseconds for all of them. So it's just the delay time that is different to give, so they don't come in at the same time. All right, so the same thing for all these guys. They use the same interaction. Smart animate, slow 300. Same thing with this one, slow 300. Same thing with this one, slow 300. The only change is just this after delay time. So going back to our design here, so I've added those ones from my previous design. So let's play this and see what we have. So click on this one. So you see smooth, they're not coming in at the same time, and we like the effects. So the next thing will be to the next thing will be to create our graph. That's what is next on the list.